Hello and welcome to our channel, where we bring you spine-chilling tales of the supernatural. In this video, we're going to take you on a journey into the unknown, to places where the dead walk among the living. Get ready for two bone-chilling ghost stories that will haunt you forever. Story 1: The Haunted Village. The haunting of the abandoned village. Our story begins in a small village situated near a river. The villagers were a close-knit community who depended on the river for their livelihoods. But one day, the river swelled and burst its banks, inundating the village and taking the lives of most of its inhabitants. In the aftermath of the flood, the village was abandoned and became a place of legend, with rumors of ghostly apparitions and unexplainable events. Locals whispered that on moonless nights, the drowned villagers would rise from their watery graves and haunt the village streets, seeking revenge on the living. Those brave enough to venture into the village at night reported eerie sightings of ghostly figures shuffling along the deserted streets, their eyes glowing with malice. Some claimed they could hear the sound of mournful wailing, as if the villagers were still grieving for their lost lives. But the most disturbing reports came from paranormal investigators who visited the village. They reported witnessing objects moving on their own and the sensation of being watched by an unseen presence. Some even claimed to have been attacked by malevolent entities. As the investigators delved deeper into the mystery, they discovered that the village had been built on an ancient burial ground, and that the spirits of the dead had been disturbed by the flood. The investigators found evidence of ritualistic practices and human sacrifice, which had likely angered the spirits even more. The investigators captured footage of ghostly apparitions, shadow figures, and unexplained phenomena. They documented the chilling sounds of footsteps echoing through empty halls, and the feeling of cold drafts that seemed to emanate from nowhere. But as the investigators delved deeper into the mystery, they found themselves facing the wrath of the vengeful spirits. The spirits grew more aggressive, their attacks more violent, until the investigators were forced to leave the village in terror. The drowned villagers still haunt the village to this day, their spirits trapped in an eternal cycle of revenge and despair. So, if you ever find yourself near a river on a moonless night, beware. The drowned villagers may be watching, waiting to claim another victim. Story 2: The Help. The ghostly presence in the office. A few years ago, a boss went on holiday for a couple of weeks to Spain. During his vacation, he received a phone call from the police, informing him that his sister had passed away in a fire in her flat. Shocked and saddened, he rushed back home to deal with the police and her passing. After a few weeks of grieving, he returned to work, and his colleagues invited him into the coffee room to offer their sympathies and support. The boss appreciated the gesture but couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. It felt like he was being watched. One day, while sitting in his office, the boss heard a strange noise. It sounded like a faint whisper. He dismissed it at first, thinking that it was his imagination playing tricks on him. But then he heard it again, and this time, it was louder. It was his sister's voice, calling out to him. He froze in fear as the voice became more and more distinct. The boss was trembling in fear, unable to comprehend what had just happened. He couldn't believe that he had just witnessed his sister's ghostly figure engulfed in flames standing right in front of him, begging for help. He was left feeling haunted and terrified, unsure of what to do next. The strange occurrences in his office only grew more intense with time. The temperature would drop suddenly, and the room would fill with an unbearable stench. His computer would turn on by itself, and he would hear strange noises coming from his phone. He tried to ignore it and carry on with his life, but the haunting only got worse. He found himself becoming increasingly paranoid and unable to sleep at night. He started to see his sister's ghostly figure more frequently, and each time it appeared, it seemed to be getting closer and closer to him. He eventually sought the help of a paranormal investigator, hoping that they could shed some light on what was happening to him. The investigator examined his office and found evidence of a powerful supernatural presence. They explained to him that his sister's ghost was likely trapped in this world due to unresolved issues or unfinished business, and that she was seeking his help to move on to the afterlife. The investigator advised the boss to try communicating with his sister's ghost, to see if he could help her find peace. The boss was hesitant at first but eventually decided to give it a try. He sat down in his office and attempted to speak to his sister's ghost, hoping that she would hear him. To his surprise, he received a response. It was faint, but he could hear her voice calling out to him. He listened carefully and realized that his sister was trying to tell him something. She was warning him about a danger that he was not aware of, something that could threaten his life. The boss was shocked to hear this, but he knew that he had to act fast. He thanked his sister's ghost for warning him and promised to do everything he could to help her find peace. He sought the help of a spiritual healer, who performed a ceremony to help his sister's ghost move on to the afterlife. After the ceremony, the strange occurrences in his office stopped, and he never saw his sister's ghostly figure again. He was left feeling relieved and grateful, knowing that he had helped his sister find peace. This experience had a profound impact on the boss. He realized that there was more to the world than what he could see, and that there were forces beyond his understanding. He became more open-minded and receptive to the supernatural, and he started to explore this world with a newfound sense of curiosity. As he delved deeper into the world of the supernatural, he encountered more and more mysterious and fascinating stories. He met people who had experienced supernatural phenomena, and he learned about the history and mythology of different cultures and religions. Through his journey, he discovered that the supernatural world was vast and complex, full of wonders and terrors beyond our wildest imagination. And he realized that, despite our best efforts to understand it, there would always be mysteries that eluded us, leaving us in awe and wonder. So, if you ever find yourself in the presence of the supernatural, remember to stay calm and open-minded. There is much to be learned from this world, and much to be discovered. And who knows, you may just uncover a mystery that will change your life forever. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, Be sure to like and subscribe for more bone-chilling tales of the supernatural.